Preseason polls of the college football world of the 2019 season. Let's look at the top 25, ladies and gentlemen. Number 25, USC, which I'm questioning why they in the top 25 at all. Not like UCF or something like that. I don't know. Well, anyways, USC, it does have a good home field. They always had those talented players come by, but I'm not 100% sure. Syracuse, maybe a little low, but who knows? They'll probably be in the top, 20 later on. Nebraska at 23. That's a joke. That's really funny. That's funny. I don't see how Nebraska is better than Stanford. I don't see how they're better than Stanford. Iowa State at 22, Mississippi State at 21. They're fine. TCU at 20, which, I mean, they're ranked at least, but I'm just, who knows? Iowa at number 19, which I'm kind of shocked that Iowa was actually ranked. Penn State at 18. I'm not surprised that they're ranked. I'm just surprised where they're ranked. Because to me, they should have at least been ranked in, and it's just my opinion, at least 14th. 17, Miami. The Washington Huskies at 16. And really, it does seem right because Washington did lose their all-time passing leader and all-time passing rusher. It's not passing rusher. All-time rusher. They lost those guys, and yet they have been in the top. They have been number one in the last 4 years in the Pac-12 in points allowed, but losing key defensive players, it's going to change for them. It really will. Number 15, Michigan State, which I personally thought they were not going to get ranked because, no, just Michigan State to me is one of those teams that are confusing to understand. Auburn at 14. Well, they're in the top 15, ladies and gentlemen. So, and they're probably going to end up being an average SEC team in the end. Texas at number 13, which I was somewhat surprised at 13, but at the same time, I'm not. It's decent. It's a decent seeding, you could say. Utah at number 12, which to me was a bigger shock because you're playing a team over a team that did win the Pac-12, which was kind of shock. But at the same time, Washington did lose a lot of key defensive players, and Jake Browning and Gaskin, I think I said that name right. But overall, maybe a little too high for Utah, but who cares? As long as Pac-12 Nation gets there. And then Texas A&M at number 11. Texas A&M I thought was going to be in the top 10. I personally thought they would be, but apparently not. Number 10, the Florida Gators. Florida, I thought would have been higher than 10 because Florida, they are in the SEC. They're in the SEC, and yet most of the time it's SEC bias. But overall, Florida Gators at number 10, not bad, and I think they had a good season overall last season, especially finally beating Michigan in the Peach Bowl. At number 9, the Fighting Irish, Notre Dame, which, to be honest with you, I would have switched in Texas A&M and Notre Dame. I personally would because Notre Dame, I'm not on Notre Dame. The only best way how they can make the playoffs are all those biased people and all that. The only way you can make the playoffs is if you have another undefeated season. If you are Notre Dame with one loss, then you better hope someone loses in a conference championship for order to you to make the playoffs. And at number 8, the Oregon Ducks are at the number 8 spot. The Oregon Ducks do have 17 return starters and lost only one player on offense. And they had one of the best recruiting classes, not just in the program history, but also in the country too. So really, them having that type of recruiting class and also getting 17 starters back, and the way what Mario Cristobal has done for the Oregon Ducks, he made them an elite recruiting program. I didn't know what to say at first. But he has made them an elite recruiting program. and many times they were in the top 5, and several times they were ranked number 1. So really, the recruiting class of Oregon and getting 17 of their starters back is pretty good, but I only got one big main concern. Who's Justin Herbert's main wide receiver? That'll be my biggest concern. At number 7, the Michigan Wolverines. Now, it's not our overrated school, I know, but can't deny the fact that Michigan has a good coach. Someone. But seriously though, once again they're ranked that high, and this is hot seat season for Jim Harbaugh. This is the hot seat season. At number 6, the Ohio State Buckeyes, which I will be honest with you, I'm not up there with Ohio State, especially when there is no Urban Meyer. So it will be very interesting to see where the Ohio State Buckeyes go without Urban Meyer. Do I think they will have big success like they did with him? Obviously not, but I'm just think Ohio State might be a little too high ranked, and it's because of Urban Meyer. That's just my main concern. Is the coach. That's all I have to be concerned. At number 5, which I really thought should have not been number 5, is actually the Oklahoma Sooners. I thought the Sooners would be where Michigan is. I just felt like they would have put Michigan number 5, Ohio State at number 6, and yeah. But Oklahoma at number 5. I mean, they did get the quarterback transfer from Alabama, Jalen Hurts, and really, I'm not there with Oklahoma because their defense to me is the biggest problem. I'll be there with Oklahoma on only if their defense has improved. Because if their defense has not improved, I don't expect great things to happen in Oklahoma. Now, buckle up all you SEC biases. Here we go. Number 4, the LSU Tigers. Now, I have talked so much crap about LSU, but I will be honest with you. LSU does have a good coach. They do have a decent, good squad. But the problem is right now, can they beat a team like Bama? And let's say they do make the college football playoffs. How do they make it? It has to be the same situation that Bama faced a few years ago. But at the same time, them being ranked that high, they have been ranked that high before. It didn't go well for them, but it's not a surprise because it's the SEC. But if this team somehow makes the playoffs, it just doesn't make any sense because let's say both them and Alabama make it. 2 teams in the same division make it, and one didn't even make its conference. I mean, their only best hope if they have to make the playoffs is if, like I said, they have to be in that same situation like Bama was a few years ago. Hope for a top 4 team to lose, and you're in. But really, LSU being ranked that high, it's kind of not a surprise. Especially when they say the SEC is the best conference. And number 3 is another SEC team. It's the Georgia Bulldogs, which is not a surprise. Can't wait to see how many fourth quarter leads this team's going to choke. Anyways, yeah, Georgia number 3. Georgia, I don't think it's going to last that long. I personally don't think they're going to last at number 3, just like LSU. I don't think it's going to last at number 4 for a long. Because here's the thing, for Georgia, a team like Kentucky, they would have to play, and I think Kentucky, even though Kentucky to many people is not a joke, I thought they were a pretty good team last season. And then you got Florida, and I think Florida's up there. I think Florida could win. Not win the SEC, but could make the SEC championship. That's a little better for what I had to say. But still, I don't know. I just don't feel like Georgia's going to last that long because their history. And I feel like this could be a step back year for Georgia. I feel like it could. Number 2, yes, it's Alabama. Not a surprise. A team with Nick Saban is obviously going to be in the top 2. Nick Saban and Alabama are looking to get back to the national championship, and they did make the national championship as well. And not only that, they've been running the SEC for a long time. So, It's not a surprise. And it's not a surprise who's number 1. It's the Clemson Tigers. Now that means number 4 and number 1, both Tigers, we would have a Tiger brawl. And many people would want to see Tigers fight each other. Peachable. Anyway, yeah, it's not a surprise that Clemson's number 1. It's just really not a surprise. So what teams do I think in the preseason poll didn't make, should be like out or should be in? I just don't agree with teams like Notre Dame at number 9. I just don't. I don't think they're better than Texas A&M or Utah. One team, though, I was so surprised. Actually, two. Two teams I was very surprised that were not ranked. UCF and Boise State in these preseason polls. I'm just like very shocked that they didn't make it in the preseason poll. Is the UCF better than USC? Same goes with Boise State. I know they're better than Nebraska, both those teams. Syracuse, you can make it a legitimate argument. Iowa State, maybe. But they put also Mississippi State in there because it's the SEC. Bias! Okay. But overall, the preseason poll, it's not that bad. There's some teams I question. I will be honest with you, I kind of question Oregon. As a Duck fan, I have to be honest. I kind of question them. Because who's their best wide receiver? That's one thing I just have to think. I mean, yes, like I said before, 17 stars are coming back. Great recruiting class. They were been in the top 5 several times. But there's just some things I'm just concerned about Oregon being ranked that high. Because they're almost going to be in the same situation the Washington Huskies were in last season. Think about it. It's almost the same exact situation. They got to play Auburn in their first game. And basically their backyard, even though it's not in Auburn, it's at Dallas. But you get to what I mean. They're obviously probably going to be more Auburn fans. So you're going to be in their backyard, basically. Auburn is ranked pretty fine the way they were. I can't remember if they were ranked 14th last year. I could be wrong. You people have to leave a comment down below reminding me, where was Auburn last year in the beginning ranked? But overall, I don't know. I mean, yes, 17 returning stars coming back and a great recruiting class, but I'm just not 100% sure with Oregon. Michigan, we'll see what happens. Ohio State, I'm not completely up there yet. But personally, if I had to do the top 10, if I had to put Oregon in there, they would just have to be where Florida is, because I think I'll have to say it again. It's just that I don't really know who's their top wide receiver at this point, and will Herbert show up on the road games than the home games, because they really did have a bad road record. They overall did. It was pathetic. It's a pathetic road record, and that's one thing I just hope that Oregon can properly do. But yeah, I mean, not bad. You could question the preseason polls, but what are your guys' thoughts on these preseason polls? Leave a comment down below, hit the like button, share it with your friends, subscribe to more videos like this one. This is TGTV Tank Mode signing off, and I am getting ready for college football. Let's get it! And also, I have to say in the end, because it's my team, go Ducks.